Hello, welcome to a week of reading in my life. This is just going to be kind of a casual reading vlog where I just show you what I'm reading. I have some secret vlogs that I'm in the middle of filming. If you can hear a bunch of tippy taps, my husband just got home and my dog is going crazy. So if you can hear that, that's what that is. So, what are we working on? Some secret books. I have at least 2 secret books that I'm working on. I'm working on reading Don Quixote, which is a buddy read that I'm doing. It's going to take me a long time. You'll probably be hearing me mention it in many videos. I'm like almost a third of the way through it, but not quite there. And then my secret books, I'm working on an audiobook. Short story anthology written by many different authors of color called New Sons. I'm at the very tail end of it. I think I have 2 or 3 stories left, so I'm working on that one. And I think the next book that I'm going to start that I can tell you about is Darkly by Marisha Pessl. I'm taking part in a readathon called TBR Trek. And I need to read a last chance author. This is basically an author you've read from before, and you're kind of giving him a last chance because he didn't love what you read. I DNF'd Neverworld Wake by Marisha Pessl years ago. I was listening to it on audiobook, and it's kind of like a time loop story, and I got bored listening to it, and I put it down. This one is about a game-making empire that's, like, accepting young people to come be interns and work there. And I read the first chapter of this a while ago and I liked the writing, so I'm hoping I'm gonna like it. I games and I think it'd be really fun to read about fictional games, so I'm hoping I like it. I love the cover, I like the sound of it, so I'll probably be working on this one and then working on some secret books. I like to have a book in there that I can tell you about when I can. Hello, it's Tuesday. I didn't actually read much last night in my books, so I'm basically where I was before, except for I listened to like a half hour of my audiobook. So things haven't changed much. So today I brought... Oh, I have cat hair on me. I really just should stop wearing black now that I have 2 light-furred animals. It's all over me all the time. I brought 2 of my secret books with me, and I'm going to try to finish one, and then the other book will be kind of my treat if I finish the other one. I have like 150 pages in it, maybe slightly less than that, but probably about 150 pages, so it's possible that I could get it done. The time change has absolutely kicked my butt. I have stayed up too late because I'm not getting tired early enough, so I'm exhausted, but I have some caffeinated coffee and some decaf coffee to get me through the work day, but that's kind of the plan for right now. Hi, it's Friday. I'm here with an update. It's Friday evening. I've done a workout today. I've applied for some jobs. I've showered. I've played a game. I have recently discovered my library's stash of Switch games, and I got a game. It's like a simulation game, so think like Stardew Valley or another type of farming sim, but this one is like you're running a shop. It's called Discounty, and it's really cute, and I've been playing that a little bit, so that was fun. I played maybe like an hour of it, and I'm enjoying it. It was just one I wasn't sure if I wanted to buy, so I was excited to be able to like get it for free from the library. Like, how cool is that? And now I'm going to be focusing on reading. I'm reading this one right now, Darkly. I've made it to page like 52. I'm really enjoying it. I really like how Marisha Pessl doesn't dumb down her writing, if that makes sense, for a younger audience. I feel like She's writing it in a way where it reads at almost an adult level without having too many like adult themes or anything like going on. It's just written for like a YA audience who wants to be challenged. So I'm really liking that, and I love the theme of it so much. So this is about a young woman named Arcadia Gannon, and she applies for an internship at a game company. There was this really famous game company that made these really interesting like board games slash maybe like role-playing games. I'm not exactly sure. And they were super popular, and then the creator of them died, and this is like the company is inviting 5 kids, I forget how many, to be a part of like an internship. Arcadia doesn't really know what it is. She just applies for it, but she doesn't think she's gonna get it, and she does. And we're just on our way now to London to where like the place is that she's going to be interning at, and we don't even know what the internship will be. So it's very good. It's very exciting. There's some like multimedia stuff going on in it, so it's fun. And I'm liking the vibe. I love board games so much, and this is just fun to read about because it's reading about really cool board games that I'm like, that sounds fun. Like there's one that you're supposed to play at night, and it's about like ghosts, and you're supposed to play at night with a flashlight outside, and parents didn't want their kids playing them because they were like, you know, they're sneaking out to play them, and they just sound so fun, and it's so fun to read about. So I'm hoping we get lots of like game stuff in here. That's what I'm hoping for. That's why I'm picking this up. I hope it's not just the few mentions that we've had already. I hope that's a large part of the plot, but I'm really loving it. Hello, it's Monday. I did not do much filming over the weekend. I got a little bit of like, I don't know, like a stomach bug, and so then I was just resting. I played a lot of the video game that I have borrowed from the library, so that was good because I'm not going to be able to keep it that long, so I kind of have to like get what I want out of it before it needs to go back. So I was playing that quite a bit and did a little bit of reading. So I've been mainly focused on this weekend, and I made it to page 192, chapter 34, so just about the halfway point, and I'm really liking this. This is fun and weird. It's like, it's hard because Jumanji is not the right comparison, but I also feel like it's the only comparison I have for it, but I don't know. Jumanji doesn't quite fit. Think Jumanji, but you're not sure what's real, what's not, what's the game, what's not the game. There's a mystery going on outside the game. There's games within games. It's very fun. I'm having a really good time reading it. I do think it could have benefited from like one more read through and editing just to like clean up some of the sentences, because there have been like a handful of times where I'm like really tripping over a sentence and not understanding like there was a moment where it was saying he, but the previous sentence had talked about 2 boys, and I was like, I don't know which boy you're talking about now in the next sentence where it says he. Like things like that where it could have just used like one more run through with an editor to like clean things up. But other than that, I'm like loving it. I am actually hoping to like get a large chunk of this read today, maybe all of it while I'm at work. Sometimes I can get like 3 hours of reading, and with how fast that reads, I could finish it. If I do, I'm gonna work on Audition by Katie Kitamura. This is, let's see, it's nominated for the Women's Prize for Fiction, which I I didn't have this on my radar because of it. I think Books and Lala is where I got this recommendation from, or maybe even not recommendation. Maybe she just had it on her radar and I was like, that sounds interesting. I don't really know anything about it other than a woman goes in to audition for something and then the book starts out normal and goes into something very weird and wacky. Maybe. I have avoided reading anything about it because I just don't want to be spoiled. So I'm just going into it. It's 200 pages, almost exactly. And so I could read this very quickly. The margins are quite big as well. So my plan is try to get through as much of this as possible, maybe finish it, and then if I have time, I'll read this. That's what I'll kind of work on.
Busy white sun in the gray skies. I am leaving your house. I'm crying, but you don't care. No, no. Once again, I am all alone and walking in the shadows, away from your loving. Oh, yeah, hurts and that's the reason why I'm running. It hurts so bad. Oh, that I bridge into the town.
Good morning. It's Thursday morning. I do not remember the last time I updated you guys, but I had originally planned for this video to be done yesterday, but I am really close to finishing the audition and I'm loving it. So I wanted to have time today to wrap it up and talk to you about it. I'm very close to being done. I want to say I have 60 pages. So I'm just sitting down to breakfast. I'm going to read some of this. I'm going to make a coffee and finish that. And then I'll wrap up Darkly and this because I will have finished both of them. Okay, I'm here to wrap up this vlog by wrapping up the 2 books that I read. Darkly by Marisha Pessl and Audition by Katie Kitamura. Let's talk about this one. This one was very fun. But I will say it did what I thought it was maybe going to do and what books that tend to have a very ambitious premise often do, which is it didn't go hard enough into the games. We really didn't get a lot of the games, and actually what was going on was actually quite obvious roughly halfway through. It had kind of laid everything else out, and then it was just a hunt to prove things. And there were some twists and turns that I thought were interesting, but not that interesting. And it felt like the author was constantly pulling their punches. And I don't know if that's because this was YA or if the author just didn't know what to do with this really cool premise. Because the whole idea of this is that we have this game maker that made these board games that were this mix of role-playing game, board game, where it's okay, you're gonna go play this game out in the woods at night and there are all these riddles and the board has to be manipulated, and they're these world-renowned games. They're so cool, and our young protagonist gets accepted at an internship at the company. This is after Louisiana, the original maker, has died, and they're getting an internship with the company. They don't really know what the internship is, but kids who are a fan of the games want to go anyways. And we get to know the interns and stuff, but everything, there was a romance that felt kind of flat. Character relationships didn't really happen between the internships because for a lot of the time they didn't know if they could trust each other. And yeah, so I just felt every part of this, this could have been an 800 page, let's have these elaborate games that we're having to play and really make them hard puzzles. And in this, when the characters end up playing a game in this, and it takes up such a small amount of the page when that's by far the most interesting thing in the book. And so I ended up giving this, I think, a 3. because it was interesting, it was entertaining, I was having a fun time, but it didn't deliver on what I wanted. I wanted, like, a larger-than-life game where, are you playing the game, are you not playing the game? I want secrets and puzzles, and it kind of gave me that, but in the most lackluster way possible, and it really just felt like the author was constantly pulling her punches and making every cool reveal a little weaker. And I highly suspect that the very, very ending of this, which is very out of the blue, I highly suspect that the author knew that they wanted that to be the ending scene and tried to write a book to have that be the ending scene, and it makes no sense. And I don't know why I think that, but it was so abrupt. It made no sense for the character to do what she did. It made no sense. Everything that had happened, it was so abrupt and it didn't mean anything, and then the book was over. And I was like, I think the author really wanted that to be the final scene. And then they wrote a book to get to that final scene, and because it didn't make sense. It felt like it was forced in there. So unfortunately, while this was fun, it's not great. It could have been great. I wanted it to be, but it wasn't. This, however, was great. Weird. Very, very, very weird, but great. This is a book called Audition, about an actress, and I'm not going to really tell you anything about the plot because I just don't want to tell you anything. I went into it not knowing anything, and I think you should too. Just know that, like, what you're reading will change from the beginning to the end of it, and it was written so beautifully. Once you kind of got settled into the writing style, this flew effortlessly. This is like one of those like very classic literary fiction, like no quotation marks or anything. It almost feels stream of consciousness. We're very much centered in our main character's head and seeing everything that she's thinking and doing. And I just thought this is really well written. I don't know if it was quite as weird as I thought, but definitely I had moments where like I didn't want to put it down because I was like, wait, what is happening? But it's not quite as weird as I thought it maybe was going to go into. It didn't quite go there. But yeah, for just a very short, it's like 196 pages and it reads very fast. Like, the writing is quite big. This was very interesting. I think I gave it 4 stars. I wanted it to be 5. It wasn't quite 5 stars, but I really liked it. So if you are a Women's Prize for Fiction fan, this was on the long list, and I would highly recommend reading it. I don't know the prize that well to know if it would make it to the short list, but I do think it's doing something very interesting in its plot. And with it being so short, I'm like, if you're at all interested in just like a weird book, read it. I just think it's a fun experience to have. And like Katie Kimura has very strong hold of the English language and structure of novel and character. Like I was reading as we get to the end, I'm like, oh wait, are we doing like a callback to like that other thing that's happening? Are we, like, is this happening? And, like, wait, I thought, like, there was lots of little tidbits would be put in. And I'm like, oh, I think that's, like, pointing back to that other thing that happened. Lots to, like, chew on. It didn't feel like there were, like, wasted parts of this book. So that wraps up my little reading vlog. We finished 2 books. We worked on some secret books. I had a good time reading. I definitely feel like my reading mojo is coming back in a big way, and I'm very excited to be reading more. I'm actually going to be jumping into another reading vlog right away. I don't think, well, you might see it the following week after this one goes up, but I'm going to have some time off work, so I'm going to do like an extra cozy reading vlog, just having a good time, reading some more secret books, because I have some themed vlogs that I am just like slowly working my way through, but then I'm trying to like throw in like other books that I can talk to you about that are just for other things as well. All right, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.